Hello everybody, this is Utah Raptor 1987 here, and welcome back to another episode of the Extinction Files. I know it's been a while since the last episode, but we're finally back with the latest installment. In this episode, we will be discussing probably one of the most highly requested dinosaurs, the meat-eating bull itself, Carnotaurus. And so, without further ado, let us begin. Carnotaurus was an abellisaurid theropod dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period in what is now Argentina, from 72 to 69 million years ago. The first and so far the only known fossils of Carnotaurus were discovered on a ranch in 1984 by Argentinian paleontologist Jose Bonaparte. Then in 1985, Bonaparte named the animal Carnotaurus sastre, which means Sastre's meat-eating bull, which was in reference to the horns on the animal's head, as well as being named after Angel Sastre, the owner of the ranch to which the near-complete specimen of Carnotaurus was discovered. Carnotaurus was fairly large for an abellisaurid, reaching lengths of around 24.6 to 26.2 feet and weighing around 1 to 2 tons. A common characteristic that shared among abellisaurids was that they had very short skulls. But what sets apart Carnotaurus from the rest was that they had not one, but 2 horns on top of their head, which they might have used for attracting mates and intraspecific combat. Some paleontologists theorized that the way Carnotaurus would have fought each other was that they would have locked their horns together and proceeded to slowly push and shove one another. Like many other abellisaurids, Carnotaurus had a pair of small, backward-facing vestigial arms. Although the exact purpose of the arms are not entirely known, the shoulders of Carnotaurus had a ball and socket joint that allowed the arms to move around, which is something we'll get to a little bit more in depth later in the video. Not only did Jose Bonaparte find a well-preserved skeleton of Carnotaurus, but he also found fossilized skin impressions of the animal along with it. The skin of Carnotaurus was made up of small, polygonal, non-overlapping scales, with larger bumps that were originally thought to be scutes and osteoderms. However, a paper that was published back in 2021 revealed that the larger bumps were not osteoderms or scutes, but were actually larger feature scales that would have been randomly distributed across the animal's body. Carnotaurus was thought to be pretty fast for a theropod its size, with estimates for its top speed varying from 20 to 35 miles an hour. However, due to the animal's stiff muscular tail and interlocking caudal vertebrae, it would have made it difficult for Carnotaurus to make sharp turns. The only known specimen of Carnotaurus was discovered in the La Colonia Formation. During the Cretaceous period, this area would have had estuaries, tidal flats, and coastal plains, with seasonal dry and humid periods. Carnotaurus lived alongside several other prehistoric creatures. There were the turtles, Patagonia myas and Yaminu kellies. There was the fish, Metaceratodes. There were the plesiosaurs, Chibutanectes, Kawanectes, and Sulcosuchus. There were the dinosaurs, Titanomachia and Coelacanth. There were the mammals, Argentodites, Colonia-therium, Ferugliotherium, and Regitherium. And then there was the snake, Alamedophyus. Carnotaurus has gained a lot of popularity over the past couple of decades, with one of its earliest depictions in pop culture being from Michael Crichton's The Lost World, where it was depicted with the ability of changing its body coloration to blend in with its natural surroundings. This iteration of Carnotaurus was later used for the Lost World Jurassic Park arcade game. In the year 2000, Carnotaurus finally made its debut on the big screen, in Walt Disney's Dinosaur, where it served as the predatory antagonist for the film. Despite the Carnotaurus in the film having a very iconic design, it unfortunately hasn't aged that well. For starters, the Carnotaurus in the film are way too big. Like, they should not be able to tower over an iguanodon. Secondly, the integument is now considered outdated, and they should not have rows of osteoderms on their backs. Third, the arms are incorrect. They should not be pronated, they should not have elbows, and they should be facing backwards. And lastly, Carnotaurus most likely had lips covering their teeth. In 2011, Carnotaurus made its appearance in the television series Terra Nova. The design of the Carnotaurus itself doesn't look too bad, however, the only thing that's bothering me about it are the arms. They're way too long, they should not be pronating, and they should be facing backwards. And for some reason, they gave the arms quill-like feathers. And as far as I know, there is no evidence that Carnotaurus, and most likely other abelisaurids, had feathers. Carnotaurus also appeared in the media franchise Dinosaur King. More specifically, the individual that's known as Ace from the anime series. The design itself doesn't look that bad for its time, although it is a bit outdated. The arms are incorrect, the integument is outdated, and it does appear to be a bit shrink-wrapped. In 2016, Carnotaurus appeared in The Land Before Time 14, Journey of the Brave. And yes, they made 14 Land Before Time movies. And this film's Carnotaurus has the exact same problems as before. The arms are wrong, the integument is now considered incorrect, and for some odd reason, they gave it the exact same sound effects as the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Carnotaurus also appeared in the video game Ark Survival Evolved, and I've got to say, this is a pretty decent design. The arms are correct, the body proportions seem about right, and it doesn't appear to be shrink-wrapped. The only issue that I have with it is that the integument is still not quite right. But other than that, I'd say this is surprisingly a pretty solid Carnotaurus. Carnotaurus once again made its appearance on the big screen in the Jurassic World series. And it doesn't look that bad for a Jurassic World design, although it is a bit of a shame that it doesn't look like the novel Carnotaurus. And once again, it has the same problems as before. The arms are wrong, the integument is wrong, and it does appear to be shrink-wrapped. But it could have been worse. There have been several different variants of Carnotaurus throughout the Jurassic World series. There was this one from Fallen Kingdom that looks pretty cool. There was also this one that looks like the Kenner Demon Carnotaurus. There was also this green variant from Chaos Theory that kinda looks like the novel Carnotaurus. And of course, who could forget everybody's favorite burnt boy, Toro. In 2022, Carnotaurus appeared in the paleo documentary series Prehistoric Planet, and its design looks absolutely phenomenal. The arms, the body proportions, the presence of lips, it's pretty much perfect. The only nitpick that I have with it is that it still has the rows of osteoderms instead of the large, randomly distributed feature scales. However, the paper that reevaluated the integument of Carnotaurus wasn't published until during the production of Prehistoric Planet, and the people behind the series most likely didn't have enough time to go back and fix their Carnotaurus. So I'll let this one slide. One of the most iconic scenes from Prehistoric Planet was the one where the male Carnotaurus performs a courtship display by twirling around his brightly colored arms. Since Carnotaurus was thought to be able to move around its arms, thanks to the ball and socket joints in its shoulders, some scientists hypothesized that Carnotaurus might have used its arms in mating rituals. This idea was even depicted in the book All Yesterdays, which was more than likely the inspiration for this scene. Carnotaurus also appeared in the short film series Soria by the YouTuber Dead Sound, and I have no notes on it. Its design looks pretty much perfect. So, in conclusion, Carnotaurus was an odd yet fascinating dinosaur. Despite only being known from a single specimen, I think it's safe to assume that scientists have a pretty good idea of what the animal might have looked like in real life. And with all its recent portrayals in pop culture, I can definitely see why some people have this speed demon of the Cretaceous period as their favorite dinosaur. Well, everyone, that about wraps up this episode of the Extinction Files. So, what extinct animal should we talk about in a future episode? Please let me know in the comments down below. But before we end the video, let's pick which creature we'll be discussing in the next episode. Alright, the moa! Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!